Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 256 based on novel. So let's start. Towering Continent was a relatively huge continent out of the 12 continents. There were countless beings living on the continent, and hundreds of millions of lives died during the Horde Leader Wars, Empire Wars, and Godly Wars. These wars had resulted in generations of great beings. There were 6 master gods in total on Towering Continent, around 1,000 undying fighters, and countless half-deities and legends. Seal. Luo Feng stood under the 7-color light membrane. His wings were open, and he looked down at the land. The dimming golden light covered the entire Towering Continent and everyone on it. Under the boundless golden light, those half-deities, legends, and saints were still able to move, but undying fighters and master gods couldn't move even a bit. Under Space Seal, they couldn't teleport themselves. Such a strong binding. So powerful. The great Yuan Ao Supreme God. More than half of the undying fighters on Towering Continent shouted the name Yuan Ao Supreme God. These undying fighters had soul servants as well, and they could determine from their servants that the golden light was covering a vast area. Those undying fighters had made contact with their master gods, and they knew that those master gods were this powerful. Master gods were only able to put pressure on individual undying fighters, but they wouldn't be able to affect an area of 10 billion square kilometers. Only Yuan Ao Supreme God was able to do that. My 22 servants are distributed on different areas on Towering Continent, and all of them are covered by golden light. How large the area is. It's over 1 square light year. This is what a universe master is capable of. A gleaming godly palace floated in the mist, and there were white-caped and golden-caped servants in the palace. This was the godly palace of glorious master god, and it was the honor of saints, legends, and half-deities to serve the great glorious master god Luo. However, their glorious master god now sat on the throne and couldn't even move a muscle. He was terrified. It isn't Yuan Ao Supreme God. Who is it? Who is it? Glorious Master God was horrified. This is a universe master. Undying fighters were yelling, Yuan Ao Supreme God. The half-deity guards were also shouting, Yuan Ao Supreme God. The legend servants were also shouting, Yuan Ao Supreme God. Glorious Master God Luo sat on the throne, scared stiff. He couldn't scold the great beings under him. After all, those undying fighters didn't have much to do with Yuan Ao Supreme Master, but he was a soul servant of Yuan Ao Supreme God, so naturally, he knew that it didn't come from Yuan Ao Supreme God. Yuan Ao Supreme God. Yuan Ao Supreme God. The great beings kept shouting. Suddenly, space and time were frozen, while those undying fighters and half-deities stopped talking under the increasing pressure. In the distance, a man with 4 teal-blue wings soaked in golden light walked in. All the undying fighters, half-deities, legends, and glorious Master God gazed at him. Luo, said the winged man as he approached glorious Master God. His voice resounded in the palace. You're a soul slave of Yuan Ao? How dare you disrespect Yuan Ao Supreme God, a legend servant screamed. How dare you call Yuan Ao Supreme God by his name? Although he was afraid of this individual, he had been indoctrinated that Yuan Ao Supreme God was the Almighty being deserving of awe. His belief was stronger than his fear of death, which was why he was infuriated by this stranger using the name Yuan Ao directly. How dare you call Yuan Ao Supreme God by name? You. All of a sudden, those who had spoken were turned to ashes. Luo Feng didn't even look at them. Those domain lords and sector lords just hadn't wanted to live, as they had dared to defy a universe master. On the contrary, the undying fighters in the palace and glorious Master God Luo didn't say anything. No answer, whispered Luo Feng. Answer me. Are you a soul servant of Yuan Ao? Suddenly, Luo's eyes lost all the light, and he answered, yes, I'm a soul slave of Yuan Ao Supreme God. The undying fighters looked at Luo in shock. They took note of his dismal eyes and stiff voice. They all understood now that Luo was being controlled. They knew that Luo Master God was a universe knight, and he was a great being who was able to roam the earth. Who would able to control a universe night so easily? It is. I thought Torch Smelting's news was fake. Luo Feng smiled. Give me the names of your soul slaves. Kuya, Bu Sai, Luo Ma Chi, Glorious Master God Ta Wo answered repeatedly. All your undying soul slaves are targets. Luo Feng looked to the undying fighters down there. Time to kill you all. Luo Feng had teleported on Towering Continent before arriving at the palace. He found out that 2 Universe Knights and 49 Undying Fighters were target. He searched the memories of Undying Fighters. There were thousands of Undying Fighters on the 12 continents, and they all knew each other. Since Luo Feng had searched their memories, he knew the Undying Fighters and their names. He also heard the names revealed to him by Glorious Master God, and all those undying soul slaves were the target. The undying fighters started to beg Luo Feng for mercy upon seeing him decide to kill them. No, please spare our lives. Great being, please spare our lives. Great being, we have no intention to be your enemy. Please spare our lives, we'll be grateful for your mercy forever. Luo Feng turned his head and looked into the distance. He could see that a being that had just arrived at Towering Continent. Above an ocean, a giant arm tore the 7-color light membrane, and a being walked into Towering Continent. He was a towering being, and the soul eye on his head gazed into the distance. He was Yuan Ao Master, the legendary Yuan Ao Supreme God of the 12 continents. After a snort, his armor started to burn with flames, and the golden light couldn't affect him at all. So powerful, he said. Even I can't control the space and time. It might be a top-tier domain-type true treasure. Fortunately, I have a top-tier domain-type true treasure as well. Otherwise, I would be at a disadvantage. Yuan Ao Master's godly body started to glow. Hua, hua, hua. All of a sudden, endless flames appeared on Towering Continent. Ah, flames. Fire. Ah, danger. Incredible. Just when all the lives on Towering Continent were horrified, they soon realized that those flames weren't powerful at all. Even a baby wouldn't be harmed by the flames. The golden flames were like a breeze. Look. Nothing happened. It's so weird. Everyone on Towering Continent was thrilled. Even the wars were paused. Under those incredible flames, they couldn't see things in the distance. It was a miracle. The dimming golden light didn't affect the wars on the continent, but the flames significantly narrowed the residents' vision. Glorious God Palace. Please, spare our lives. Mercy, please. Just when the undying fighters were begging for their lives, endless flames arrived. The golden country formed by Shi Wu Wings was fundamentally different from domain-type true treasures. Domain-type true treasures would clash with each other if their power were let out, as Thousand Treasures River and Floating Mountain Ocean clashed with each other on the original stars. However, if the powers were different, it would not happen. Master of Banfu's Luo sector still existed in Luo Feng's miniature universe, as they had contrasting types of power. Golden Country a control over space and time, like that of a universe master, but much more powerful because it came from Shi Wu Wing's secret technique. That was why Yuan Ao Master wasn't able to control the space and time. I'll kill all the targets. Luo Feng glanced around. How dare you, roared the voice of Yuan Ao Master came from the endless golden flames. The flames immediately put Ta Wo and those undying fighters under their protection. Although the domain-type true treasure wasn't able to extend as far as Golden Country, it was almost as powerful. Yuan Ao, you can't protect them, said Luo Feng calmly. Luo Feng's words dazed everyone in the palace. This being wasn't even afraid of Yuan Ao Supreme God. They had been indoctrinated that Yuan Ao Supreme God was supreme since they were born. Help us, Yuan Ao Supreme God, yelled Glorious Master God. Save us, Yuan Ao Supreme God, yelled the undying fighters. He won't be able to kill you, said Yuan Ao Supreme God. Luo Feng shook his head. What a joke. A golden river surged from Luo Feng's body. The flames crumbled beneath Nine Tiger River, and Glorious Master God and his 3 soul slaves were annihilated immediately. Damn you, roared the voice from the endless flames. Luo Feng took a last look at the surviving undying spirits, demigods, and legendary beings who looked lifeless, shocked, and fearful. Then he turned and took a step forward, and left this glorious god palace. Within the hall of the glorious god palace, there were two undying spirits, not soul servants, a group of demigod guards, and a group of legendary servants. In the presence of Supreme God, how dare he? How dare he? He actually killed glorious Master God who was under the protection of our Supreme God. Who is he? A rolling sea of waves was upheaved in the minds of this group of legendary beings, demigods, and two undying spirits. As the two undying spirits were not strangers to the vast universe out of Yuan Ao secret region, their brief understanding allowed them to guess that this enemy must be a universe master who came from the vast universe. But the demigods and legendary beings were different. They were oblivious. They had always been instilled with various beliefs like, no one can disobey Supreme God's commands, and, Supreme God is invincible. To think. In the hearts of these legendary beings, domain masters, and demigods, sector lords, a new seed was sprouting. They had banished all such thoughts about the Supreme God being invincible as a sudden realization dawned on them. In the vast universe, the 12 large continents were never the core. There was an even larger world beyond their continents. That enemy was able to match up to Supreme God. Why can't I? The seed had been sown, so now, there was hope of bearing fruit. Luo Feng took a step out of glorious God Palace. Out in the surroundings, rolling waves of Nine Tiger River were surging. With the empowerment of Golden Kingdom, the weaker Nine Tiger River was still able to cause that endless flame to disperse to naught. Yuan Ao Master. Luo Feng looked at the towering figure standing amidst the endless flame from afar. The towering figure from afar was glaring furiously at Luo Feng with its single eye. Who are you? Don't sneak around. You are not from the Ka Vulture clan. Luo Feng laughed, and instantly, his fiery red hair changed to black, while his armor and wings transformed back to their original color. This was a black-haired man with silver armor and wings. And you are? Yuan Ao Master revealed a trace of uncertainty. Luo Feng answered immediately. Yuan Ao Masters, I was filled with shock. The extraordinary genius from humanity that became a universe master? It has not been that long, has it? You. When did you become a universe master? Yuan Ao Master did not belong to any top power because he had quickly become a universe master soon after the birth of the universe. For countless years, his power naturally became very strong, so he did not need to be part of any top power and could roam the universe as a lone wanderer. Yet, because he was a lone wanderer, he was always behind time and uninformed of the latest news. Not too long ago, Luo Feng replied. Oh, Yuan Ao Master pondered for a slight moment as a complicated look flashed in his single eye. After a short while, he said, So, you are Milky Way Horde leader, Luo Feng. To think so many things have happened during these few short months of deep slumber. You actually killed over 6,000 universe knights from the 3 major alliances with one blow. That was pretty ruthless. Nothing much. Luo Feng afforded a slight smile. Obviously, this Yuan Ao Master before him must have learned about what happened on the original stars in the recent years through some intelligence channels. Humph, said Yuan Ao Master. Then he let out a roar. Even if you are a universe master, even if you are from the Human Alliance, you cannot be so impudent. The Yuan Ao secret region is my territory. You come here and kill as you please. This is a provocation to me. However, you are a universe master, and I do not wish to pursue the matter further. Hand over a senior true treasure as compensation and leave my territory as fast as you can. We shall bury the hatchet. Universe masters were unable to kill each other easily unless the difference in power was quite far apart. Most of them would either negotiate or incur hatred to end things. A senior true treasure? Luo Feng lightly shook his head. Milky Way Horde leader, do you think that I will let you off because you are from the Human Alliance? Yuan Ao Master roared. My apologies. There is no way we can put an end to this. Luo Feng looked at Yuan Ao Master. I am here under the orders of the Ancestral God School to exterminate you and the various great beings under your command. Silence. Yuan Ao Master's single eye was filled with shock, which was closely followed by rage and an endless raging fire. You said the ancestral god school? Yuan Ao master let out another roar. The ancestral god school has sent you here to kill me? Loathsome bastard. Detestable ancestral god school. I, Yuan Ao master, have run rampant in the universe as a loner. Even universe supreme beings can forget about killing me. Why would I fear your ancestral god school? Come, come. I am here at Yuan Ao secret region. I will wait here and see who comes to kill me. Ha ha ha. Luo Feng raised his brows. Luo Feng could confirm that Yuan Ao master indeed caused the eyes of the golden toad to turn red. Also, Yuan Ao master carried with him another target that caused the eyes of the golden toad to turn red. 2 targets, one is Yuan Ao master himself, thought Luo Feng. The other is something he carries by his side. Is it a soul servant that he carries within his world ring? Or another unique object? No matter what it was, so long as it could cause the eyes of the golden toad to turn red, it would be a target that needed to be eliminated and annihilated. When he had been executing Golden Kingdom, enshrouding the Dark Continent to kill torch-smelting Master God, Luo Feng had mentally prepared himself to face Yuan Ao Master. He made quite a conspicuous entrance, as he once again landed in Towering Continent. Luo Feng had been waiting for Yuan Ao Master for some time, and sure enough, Yuan Ao Master had appeared. Everything was within his expectations. Yuan Ao Master was indeed the cause of the Golden Toad's eyes turning red. Luo Feng had revealed the ancestral god school as the perpetrator because he was aware that he could not kill this Yuan Ao Master. Yuan Ao Master is a special life form, thought Luo Feng. His godly body is 1,000,000 miles tall, and his godly power is 1 level purer than mine. And he has been around since the first era of the birth of the universe. By now, he must have accumulated countless treasures. Based on what I have gathered, those would be top-tier domain-type true treasures, pinnacle true treasure armor, and many other true treasures. I suppose even Star River Master would not be able to kill him, so, earlier on, when Yuan Ao Master proclaimed that even a universe supreme being could forget about killing him, it was not empty talk. That was the truth. Extremely powerful beings like Star River Master, Primal Chaos City Leader, and 9 Remoteness Master did not fear universe supreme beings. Yuan Ao Master might be a notch lower than Star River Master in terms of combat power, but his massive godly body allowed him to run freely and rampantly throughout the universe without fearing anyone. Yuan Ao Master glared furiously at Luo Feng. Milky Way Horde Leader, he said. I am not afraid of those bastards of the ancestral god school at all. As for you, Humph, you must be a peripheral member of the ancestral god school. I could not be bothered with fighting you at all. If you have any sense in you, you will know to hand over a senior true treasure as compensation and get out of my territory as fast as you can. Otherwise, I shall let you see what I am capable of. Oh, I am indeed curious to know what you are capable of, Luo Feng said, laughing lightly. I would love the opportunity to measure my power against a universe master like you, who emerged during the birth of the universe. What will it be? Do you intend to exchange blows within the Towering Continent? Destroying this entire continent brings me no heartache at all. Yuan Ao Master snorted in an aloof manner. Since you want to court your doom, follow me. We shall battle within the void space of the secret region. Very well. Luo Feng nodded. One after the other, almost simultaneously, the two disappeared from Towering Continent in a flash. Golden Kingdom and Endless Flame, which were previously enshrouding Towering Continent, also disappeared instantaneously. The billions of various life forms on the entire Towering Continent were in a state of shock. The misty golden light and endless flames had arrived on their continent in an instant, one after the other. Now, they had vanished from the continent in an instant. This was unprecedented in the history of the Towering Continent. A couple dozen light years away from the 12 large continents, there was a void space filled with darkness. There was only a thin, fog-like universe energy. 2 figures, one after the other, arrived at this void space. You are merely the errand boy of the ancestral god school, so I actually had no intention of making things difficult for you, said Yuan Ao Master. You killed 2 universe knights under my command and various undying spirits, all of which I cannot be bothered to make a fuss over. Just that, when I wanted you to compensate me with a senior true treasure and then get out of my territory, you had the guts to provoke me into a fight? Humph. Just a young fellow with barely over 100,000 years of cultivation. Let me show you how vastly different I am from Master of Banff, the expert in using illusions. The massive figure with a single eye glared at Luo Feng from afar. Luo Feng stood within the void space with a blade slung across his back. Is that so? He said. The endless, misty golden light appeared, and the void space that was initially filled with darkness instantly transformed into a golden kingdom. The limitless power suppressed Yuan Ao Master, who let out a roar. Suddenly, endless flames appeared out of nowhere. There was only a fractional difference between the power of Golden Kingdom and that of the endless flames. Luo Feng was aware, however, that his Shi-Wu wings were actually much stronger than endless flames, but his godly power was one level lower than Yuan Ao Master's. Therefore, this made the power of the second form of this impaired true treasure Shi-Wu wings well matched in strength with endless flame. Other great beings would not be able to use 2 domain-type true treasures at the same time, because domains are mutually exclusive, Luo Feng thought. However, my Golden Kingdom controls time and space. So it makes a perfect combination with a domain-time true treasure, right? 9 Tiger River is too weak on its own. I need to obtain a much greater domain-type true treasure in the future. Luo Feng was secretly looking forward to his treasure hunt. With Golden Kingdom being a degree more powerful than a top-tier domain-type true treasure, if he could obtain another top-tier domain-type true treasure, he would likely own something that was comparable to a pinnacle domain-type true treasure. A miniature universe could be another method to consider, thought Luo Feng. Miniature universe, Golden Kingdom, domain-type true treasure, these 3 do not repel one another. They could be executed simultaneously. Suddenly, Luo Feng discovered a route that was suitable for him. He had made it all the way to where he was now. Unless he had become a universe master, it would have been very difficult for him to attain an explosive boost in his power within a short period. However, miniature universe, Golden Kingdom, and a domain-type true treasure. The confluence of these 3 would become a powerful stance that exclusively belonged to Luo Feng. Star River Master may be able to execute an ultimate technique, Dark Knight, which resembles miniature universe because he has a domain-type true treasure, thought Luo Feng, but he does not own a valuable treasure like Shi-Wu wings to allow him to control time and space. When it comes to controlling time and space, I think only a universe supreme being can surpass me, but just barely. Shi-Wu wings are truly amazing. Luo Feng could not help singing praises of his possession. At least, Luo Feng had not heard of any other true treasures with such power. Besides, Shi-Wu wings were still imperfect at this point, so Luo Feng was filled with anticipation for them. Various thoughts flashed through his mind like lightning, but his eyes were glued to his opponent in the distance, a being that was merely a slight notch weaker than Star River Master. Without using his supreme true treasure, Star Tower, what would he be capable of? Luo Feng really looked forward to finding out for himself. You little human kid who has cultivated for merely a few dozen eras, jeered Yuan Ao Master. I will teach you the consequences of provoking me. Then, with a roar, the radiant light of the endless flames charged right before Luo Feng's eyes. Luo Feng had thick arms, and one was carrying a cardinal shield while the other was carrying a bronze and bloody hammer. The hammer was enormous, and there were nails on it. There were flames around the hammer, and it dashed at Luo Feng with mighty power. The space around it turned into particles. Luo Feng's blade Absolute Guest came out of the sheath. Absolute Guest was a pinnacle true treasure blade created by Sitting Mountain Guest and was much more powerful than Blade Ghost Blade, which Luo Feng wielded to fight Master of Banff. A powerful true treasure could affect power to a large extent, and the closest power level was that of a supreme true treasure. The gap was larger. Dang! The blade hit the arm of the hammer, and the shock wave made Luo Feng take 3 steps back. Yuan Ao Master took 2 steps back and stopped. Yuan Ao Master growled and glared at Luo Feng. You were at an advantage when you were fighting Master of Banff only because you performed your supreme technique. Your blade technique wasn't that impressive. How could you just resist my hammer? Luo Feng sneered and said, "Stop talking. Show me your true power." Luo Feng knew exactly how powerful Yuan Ao master was, despite the fact that he shouted like that. He had been suppressing Yuan Ao master using Golden Country and Nine Tiger River at the beginning. As a matter of fact, Yuan Ao master was indeed stronger than Luo Feng. When he was fighting Master of Banff used Floating Mountain Sea to suppress Luo Feng, and Luo Feng was only using Blood Ghost Blade. That was how Master of Banff was able to be at an advantage. However, Luo Feng was the one at an advantage now. He had better true treasures, and he was able to rival Yuan Ao master even without I Am the Universe. How rampant you are! Yuan Ao master roared. Well, you're indeed qualified to be rampant, as you've been only training for a few dozen eras. However, you need to learn that nobody cares how long you've been practicing. I'll reveal my true power now. The godly body of Yuan Ao master was surrounded by flames that were like nebulas. The flames were so powerful that even Nine Tiger River under Golden Country crumbled instantly. So powerful. Luo Feng looked to the flame whirlpool in shock. It can rival the supreme technique Dark Dite of Star River Master. The breathtaking and shining flame whirlpool shrank and concentrated on that gigantic hammer. The fire on the hammer surged. All of a sudden, the hammer was emanating endless force, as if it were a pinnacle domain-type true treasure. Burn! Yuan Ao master roared. The huge hammer looked bloody under the flame, and the bloodstains seemed to be triggered. An evil force permeated that drilled into Luo Feng and started to attack his body. Kill! 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 Die! The roaring resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Humph! Yuan Ao master sneered. To him, although Luo Feng was a peerless genius in the human race, even in the universe, he had only practiced for a few dozen eras, and his mind might be his disadvantage. The hammer might not be a threat to real universe masters, but it was likely to work on this human genius. It could at least daze Luo Feng and put him in danger. The hammer arrived in front of Luo Feng. Golden light shone, and it was sharp and cold. It hit the hammer directly. Luo Feng was blasted away like a beam of light and didn't stop flying for thousands of kilometers, yet Yuan Ao master stood in the sky, dazed. He resisted it. And his godly body isn't weakened, either, said Yuan Ao master. Ha ha ha, is this your move, Yuan Ao master? Luo Feng laughed on the outside, but inside, he was shocked. Even though he had Nine Tiger River and Golden Country, he was still at a severe disadvantage. That move was indeed terrifically powerful. Although it was less powerful than the trump card of Star River Master, it was only slightly weaker. However, it was different from when he was fighting Star River Master. He had Golden Country, Nine Tiger River, and Absolute Guest. He didn't have Star Tower, but Luo Feng had only lost 210,000 THS of his godly body. That Yuan Ao master might have already lost 1/10,000th of his godly body already, Luo Feng thought. I have force armor to protect me. Good, said Yuan Ao master. Incredible. No wonder you're a peerless genius in the human race. It's been less than one era since you fought Master of Banff, but your power has surged again. You're not even injured at my hands. I originally considered consuming you to death, as I have a large godly body, but now, you're qualified to make me use that. Yuan Ao master glared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng was surprised. Use that. Haha. Everyone can bluff, said Luo Feng. Don't you have a supreme true treasure? Luo Feng opened his four wings and stood on Nine Tiger River, looking at Yuan Ao master in the distance. Humph. I've only used it once in Universe Ocean since I got it. This will be the first time I use it in the original universe. Yuan Ao master waved his hands, and the hammer disappeared, after which a strange black object showed up in Yuan Ao master's hands. The black object was mighty. How powerful. Luo Feng confirmed that the black object was one of the targets using his golden toad. That's a target. That strange object. Luo Feng was shocked. He had killed some undying fighters and universe knights since coming here. It had always been living beings that made the golden toad's eyes turn red, and he was supposed to kill all of them. Ancestral God asked Luo Feng to find out what was happening here. Luo Feng surmised that the origin might be that strange object. That strange object looked like a giant piece of black wood, and one side was broken. The grains on the wood looked odd, like half-circles winding with each other, and the entire black wood was strangely powerful. So powerful. I've seen many valuables, but the only two things that can outpower this are a fully utilized Star Tower and 5-color Aurora Lake, Luo Feng thought. I have Star Tower in my hands, but I can't fully utilize it, and it can't trump this Blackwood now. Although Yuan Ao Master had launched some attacks, that Blackwood was already more forceful than the True Treasure Maces and the Pinnacle True Treasure that Doubleface Ancestral God used. I killed a Universe Master with one attack. Yuan Ao Master stroked the Blackwood. This is a valuable I got in Universe Ocean after lots of efforts and dangers. I'll use it to rip you into pieces. I'll take your true treasures by destroying this body of yours, and it'll be your punishment. As for the Ancestral God School? Haha. I'm not even afraid of Ancestral God. Just come. Demon race territory in the distance. Inside Dream Ancestor Secret Region, a giant silver snake was floating in the space where the palaces of Dream Demon Ancestor. He looked up in a certain direction in the universe. A ripple. It's that ripple, said the silver snake slowly. It's in Yuan Ao Secret Region. Did Yuan Ao Master get a strange object? What a moron. How stupid is he to bring that object back to the original universe? Doesn't he know the original universe doesn't allow that kind of strange object? The silver snake made an order immediately. Skywolf, Yumo, go to Yuan Ao Secret Region. I'll go there if you run into dangers. Yes. Skywolf Master and Yumo Master took the order. Both of them had lived for a long time, and Skywolf Master was a Pinnacle Universe Master with great surviving skills. So was Yumo Master. The two Universe Masters were only scouts. The Northern Territory Alliance. That strange object. It's rare for it to show up even in Universe Ocean, and it shows up now? Though it still can't rival a supreme true treasure, it's very close already. Even Pinnacle set true treasures can't rival that. I'm sure that the Universe Supreme Masters in the original universe have already heard. I'll send 2 Universe Masters there to see, and I can get there immediately. Soon, Northern Territory Alliance sent 2 Universe Masters. Meanwhile, the Ancestral God School sent 3 Universe Masters. The Bug Race sent 1 Universe Master, and the Space Beast Alliance sent 2 Universe Masters. The superpowers in the universe all sent Universe Masters, and the Universe Supreme Masters behind them were observing the situation closely. On the contrary, the Automaton race and the human race didn't send anyone, as Hujack's founder was in Universe Ocean while Father God was in another universe. With Golden Kingdom, Luo Feng had absolute control over time and space. Thus, he could feel the attraction and detect that black piece of wood. Due to certain factors, the black piece of wood was cracking. The splinters that broke off were distinct. This could be a valuable that was a naturally occurring treasure at the true treasure level. It could be big or small, and it had limitless power. I have never heard of such a strange object, Luo Feng mused. Due to special reasons that might put the universe at risk, life forms like Yuan Ao Master, Torch-Smelting Master God, and Glorious Master God needed to be exterminated. But this black piece of wood is nothing but a dead object. How can it cause harm to the primal universe? However powerful a true treasure like Star Tower was, it would not be powerful enough to bring harm to the primal universe. This kept Luo Feng on his toes. Human Kid, Yuan Ao Master snorted at Luo Feng. His single eye was filled with smugness as he gloated over Luo Feng's situation. Regretting? Afraid? But too late. Out of the countless great beings of the primal universe, you are truly the first to have a taste of it. Don't blame me if you lose your armor, wings, and weapons. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, Yuan Ao Master roared, burn and destroy. He was using the same technique, which was also the only ultimate technique that Yuan Ao Master comprehended. The same scene unfolded. The glaring, magical, gigantic whirlpool of flames resembling a nebula whirlpool enshrouded Yuan Ao Master and added strength to his aura, which instantly skyrocketed. I'm not going to fool around any longer. Luo Feng stared and executed his ultimate technique while shouting, I am the universe. Luo Feng's godly body consumed his godly power at an unparalleled speed while the endless golden light that had been enveloping this part of the secret region suddenly changed. Chaotic airflow appeared to fill the air, drifting randomly and filling every space possible. At that instant, this ubiquitous presence changed the surroundings of an area with a diameter of 1 billion miles to a world of chaotic airflow. Chaotic airflow? Yuan Ao master laughed with great delight. You are finally executing your ultimate technique. Great. Great, my ass. Luo Feng roared. Within the gigantic, egg-like miniature universe, chaotic airflow was everywhere. In terms of power, the miniature universe was much stronger than Golden Kingdom. Luo Feng made use of this technique in one of his previous battles, so even though Master of Banff had the Luo sector, he still could not stop Luo Feng from forcefully massacring over 6,000 universe knights. At this moment, Luo Feng shouted, Miniature universe empower. Golden Kingdom empower. 9 Tiger River, attack. Other than Star Tower being an ultimate technique, the three techniques, namely Miniature Universe, which was the shrinking of the universe, Golden Kingdom, which was the absolute control of time and space, and 9 Tiger River, which was the domain of a domain-type true treasure, were all techniques of different types, so they did not contradict or repel one another. Within a split second, the three superimposed over one another. With this superimposition, solely Golden Kingdom and 9 Tiger River were enough to take down Endless Flame, much less with the addition of the powerful miniature universe. A crushing force, and the vast, flaming domain surrounding Yuan Ao Master completely collapsed. Under the double empowerment of miniature universe and Golden Kingdom, 9 Tiger River had immeasurable power, allowing it to run rampant in its attacks. Yuan Ao Master was roused into action. Ha ha ha. What a delight, but, you must still meet your doom. Yuan Ao Master roared. With a sudden crashing sound, his godly body started to expand. Within a split second, he reached a massive 1 million miles, the true size of his godly body. A gigantic Yuan Ao Master 1 million miles tall was now grasping a piece of black godly wood that was also several million miles long. The endless power brought about by Burn and Destroy was completely gathered on this black godly wood, which brought about winding threads of black airflow. One straight blow. From one fragmented end of the black godly wood, splinters flew directly to meet with the blow Luo Feng dealt. That one blow. Even with double empowerment, 9 Tiger River was still crumbling under the impact inch by inch. Its waves parted to either side, as it was unable to ward off the endless firelight and the black airflow winding around the black godly wood. At that moment, the black godly wood was continuing to expand and lengthen. It crashed directly at Luo Feng. Miniature universe, gather, Luo Feng shouted. Suddenly, the seemingly disorganized miniature universe's chaotic airflow gathered around the absolute guest blade in Luo Feng's right hand like a tornado. Wielding the power that he obtained after fusing whatever existing power he had with this endless chaotic airflow, Luo Feng slashed ruthlessly at the black godly wood that was charging towards him. The power was sky-high. Luo Feng was thrown back a couple thousand miles. It was the same situation for Yuan Ao Master, who was also forced to retreat a good couple of 100 miles because of the frightening impact of the collision. Impossible. Yuan Ao Master's single eye was filled with insanity as he looked at the godly wood in his hands. Letting out an uninhibited roar, he shouted, "Go and die." "You think I fear you," said Luo Feng. "You are the one dying today." Luo Feng flapped his wings. Then, under the oppression of Miniature Universe, Golden Kingdom, and 9 Tiger River, he was completely on the winning end. In his grasp was Absolute Guest Blade, which, together with the power gathered from Miniature Universe, dealt another ferocious blow with the determination to annihilate Yuan Ao Master with one swift slash. Both exchanged blows at lightning speed. All the blows were executed at full force. Suddenly, the vast Miniature Universe dispersed without a trace. The 9-second limit for maintaining one execution was up, and although he was able to continue maintaining its execution, Luo Feng did not feel like continuing with this battle. "Yuan Ao Master is Yuan Ao Master," said Luo Feng. "I salute you. I shall not stay any longer." With that, Luo Feng transformed into light and made a speedy escape. However, the surrounding space had been sealed much earlier. There was no way he could teleport. You want to leave? Dream on. Yuan Ao master roared, his murderous intent to hunt Luo Feng down. Haha. You think you can catch up with me? Luo Feng laughed out loud. With the double obstruction posed by Golden Kingdom and Nine Tiger River, Yuan Ao master's speed was a far cry from that of Luo Feng's. Seeing Luo Feng escape, Yuan Ao master was helpless. He was at his wits' end. He had already realized that the aura of Luo Feng's godly body was obviously weakened by 1 notch, and his guess was that Luo Feng might have lost 1/10 of his godly body. In his case, although he had executed his ultimate technique about a dozen times, the amount of his godly body consumed was merely 2 out of 1,000. Continuing to fight under such a situation, he would definitely be able to exhaust Luo Feng to his death. What a pity that Luo Feng had Golden Kingdom to empower his Nine Tiger River. Luo Feng held full control. If Luo Feng had been able to fight, he would have, but if not, he would still dare to put up a struggle. However, it seemed to him that he might lose his life in the fight, so he made a speedy decision to escape. That human, Luo Feng, shouted Yuan Ao master. Good for you that you are fast, but I don't believe all the other universe masters of the ancestral god school are equally fast. I shall wait here at my territory, and what can the ancestral god school do to me? Yuan Ao master let out a resounding roar, and during his roar, Luo Feng flew out of the area under sealed space. Within an instant, he had disappeared from sight. How could that Yuan Ao master be that powerful, and what exactly is that black godly wood? Luo Feng was in one of the void spaces of the Yuan Ao secret region. In terms of technique, said Luo Feng, he loses to Star River Master by a great deal, but that godly wood. In terms of attack power, it does not lose out to Star River Master's attack power. No wonder he mentioned earlier that he annihilated a universe master with a single blow at the universe ocean. I have already mobilized all 3 techniques, Golden Kingdom, Miniature Universe, and Nine Tiger River, and yet, I am still on the losing end. Luo Feng was consciously aware that he was not able to win. Even with Miniature Universe, Nine Tiger River, and Golden Kingdom, coupled with the golden technique executed with Absolute Guest Blade, the combined power was barely comparable to that of the second stage of Star Tower. Using Star Tower was not a consuming process for his godly power, but Miniature Universe used up a good 1/10 of his godly body. If I had not executed Miniature Universe just now, I would have been at an absolute disadvantage, thought Luo Feng. I would probably have been blown away from a distance, and my godly body would have sustained severe injuries. With the empowerment of Miniature Universe, he was able to alleviate his disadvantage by a little. Keeping each attack at maximum force, every execution would consume 10% of my godly body. Just a few executions and I will be a goner. Luo Feng shook his head in silence. Not a match. Luo Feng flipped his hand and retrieved a golden token. Ancestral God. Luo Feng. Ancestral God, Yuan Ao Master is a target, too, said Luo Feng. And he has a piece of black godly wood, which is also a target. The black godly wood is very powerful, and with Yuan Ao Master holding it, I am unable to ward off his attacks at all. To eradicate him is simply beyond my capabilities. You have done well, said Ancestral God. When Yuan Ao Master utilized that black godly wood, I had already learned of its origins. The true origin lies with that black wood. I have already deployed 9 Remoteness Master and 2 other Universe Masters. They will be gathering at Redbud Island first. You should quickly head over to meet them. God Country Transportation will send you there right away. 9 Remoteness Master? Luo Feng repeated immediately. I will leave right away to go meet them. Standing in void space with a cyan light by his side, Luo Feng's soul servant operated God Country Transportation. From there, 3 figures were seen walking out. The one in the lead was a middle-aged man garbed in a magnificent black robe. There were black engravings on his fair and pale face, and he exuded a devilish charm. He was different from Primal Chaos City Leader and different from Darkness Master. Throughout the universe, his existence was one that was terribly self-conceited and overweening with arrogance. Milky Way Horde leader, said this devilish, middle-aged man as he looked at Luo Feng to acknowledge his presence. Luo Feng returned his greetings. 9 Remoteness Master. The two looked at one another. Interesting, said 9 Remoteness Master. This young fellow I encountered back then has become so powerful in the twinkling of an eye. He turned behind and said, you should know these two beside me. Luo Feng took one look and smiled. This must be Yuan Master from the Thornring Alliance, and this must be Anaconda Master from the Ancestral God School. Through the virtual universe, he had already read up on the more renowned universe masters from various top powers within the universe. It was a natural reaction to memorize some prominent information about these numerous universe masters so he could at least know what some of these universe masters were skilled in. In times of battle, such information would enable him to be well prepared and to know what to be cautious about. That's right. 9 Remoteness Master nodded. These two here are also peripheral members of the Ancestral God School and belong to my 9 Remoteness branch. You are also one of my 9 Remoteness branch, so the 4 of us are actually closely related. Milky Way Horde leader. Yuan Master and Anaconda Master greeted at the same time. Yuan Master was a bald man with bone wings, while Anaconda Master was a giant boa constrictor whose godly body took the form of a winding spiral and had flashing mirages all about its surroundings. Both looked toward Luo Feng with kind intentions. Nice to meet you both, Luo Feng said with a smile. 9 Remoteness Master nodded and said, this concerns matters pertaining to Yuan Ao Master. We of the 9 Remoteness branch will be appearing as representatives of the Ancestral God School. This video will end here.